Hello, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on the time zone that you're in. Welcome to the pre-match press conference for the Reggae Girls against England, a friendly international. This will be the first time that both teams will be facing each other in senior international women's football. Kickoff is 11 a.m. Jamaica time for the game, so that's 5 p.m. UK time. Before we go into everything, just want to make everybody clear that on Jamaica Football Federation's official YouTube channel, JFF Live, the game will be shown for official members only. We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica senior women's national team, Coach Hubert Busby, who will provide some opening remarks, and then after that, we'll open the floor for questions for members of the media. So, Coach, over to you. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks,
Nice,
Simon.
nice, nice.
Okay. Thanks, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here today. Match day -1. Really looking forward to the match tomorrow. Firstly, just want to say, we've had a good couple of days. Most of the players arrived on Monday, so we're able to get to training on Tuesday. As you can know, with the different periodizations plans for the players coming off of a long European season for those who were able to come in and play and different flights. I think by Wednesday we've all kind of settled down with the jet lag and time change. So hopefully everybody's all right. One or two little knocks and stomach viruses, but everything else for the most part, everyone has good spirits. Um, English FA has been fantastic hosts. We've been at St. George's Park. Obviously, everyone knows that facility, knows how what a great facility that is. So overall, everything's been wonderful so far, and I know the group is looking forward to the match tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Coach. So, members of the media, this is your opportunity now. Please use the raise hand icon. And once you're indicated, then you can be able to pose your question to Coach Busby. So, we now open the floor for questions. Please raise your hand. And once you're called upon, then you'll be able to pose your question or two to Coach Busby. So, we can proceed. All right. Afternoon, Jordan. How are you doing? You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Jordan James from Backpage Football. Good afternoon, Simon, and great to see you again, Coach. Two questions from me. Firstly, the Midlands is home to the second largest Jamaican community in the UK after London. We saw some great support for the Reggae Boys for the recent Unity Cup. How important is it for Jamaican fans to come out in large numbers tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it'd be great to obviously have our supporters in our stands. Obviously, we'll still be the sort of minority group. We'll know the main team and England will be in full support. But yeah, I think for all the Jamaican supporters and West Indian supporters who want to come out and come and take in the match will be great. But we know our diaspora. We know we're passionate fans. We know we saw the group that was in London as well that came out for the Unity Cup, came out in full force and boisterous and really got behind the team. So yeah, it would be great to have that same sort of support tomorrow at the match.
Thank you, Coach. And a second question: can you confirm whether this will be the final friendly match for the Reggae Girls in 2025, or are there more fixtures expected before the year's end?
I think it will be official last fixture simply because of the FIFA windows don't allow. I think we're trying to work on a few things outside of the windows with possibly a hybrid group of players who are whether they're kind of a U20, U23 players that we want to take a look at to kind of finalize a roster heading into the World Cup qualifiers. But that is still to be confirmed. But as an official match, then yeah, this will be the last match before October.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Jordan. Much appreciated. Let's go to Gregory Bryce, the Jamaica Gleaner. Go ahead, Bryce.
Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach Busby. Just two questions I wanted to ask. The first one, I'm not sure if I had missed it, but I'm seeing some faces in the camps that I think were not in the first squad that was released. Mainly Romani Wellington and Clara Hall, if I have those names correctly. are these players integrated and expected to play in the England match, or is it a case where they're just training with the team um and getting introduced to the program?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Dan, and a great observation from yourself. No, these are English-based players who are coming through the system, through the U20, sort of program that prospects that it allow for us this opportunity to bring them in, allow this opportunity to, find out a little bit more in terms of our playing model, get to know some of the senior women, and also get to know what it means to be a senior reggae girl. And I think it was really important that some of these prospects that were available, we thought it was a great idea to come in to train with the senior women. They've done very well, not just to make up the numbers, but see how they integrate into the larger group and to a larger extent increase our pool of players. And yeah, they've had a great week of training. They won't be involved in the match tomorrow, but it was just a really good opportunity to integrate some young players into the program.
And and a follow-up question on that, regarding new faces. You spoke about a lot of opportunities for new faces to really get chances against top opponents with the absence of the more experienced players. Based on what you've seen in training so far with these girls, what are you expecting from the game tomorrow against England? Is it a case where you hope for them to be competitive, or just rather another experience learning game?
Yeah, it's going to be both. I mean, we have to be competitive. I mean, we're, the Jamaican women's national team, and we have pride, and we want to go out there and show the world exactly who we are and what we're about. And the players have expressed that within their group, and we've just talked about we're under no illusions. We know we're playing the reigning European champions and fourth best team in the world, but we're looking forward to the match. And obviously, how the match goes will depend on the substitutes or players that we look to integrate into the game. But that is a major factor and one of the things that we do want to be conscious of. But obviously, the game will dictate whether or not that happens for sure.
Thank you, Gregory. Much appreciated. Let's hear from Vicky Sparks. Good afternoon, Vicky. I think you're muted, Vicky, but you can go ahead and ask.
Sorry, my laptop decided to die at that precise moment. But thank you, Simon. Thank you so much, Coach, as well for taking the time to talk to us. So yeah, I'm Vicky. I work with the BBC in England. We'll be doing radio commentary of the game tomorrow. Couple of questions from me. Really interested in terms of what you see as the key tactically for you to try and get a result and a good performance against England tomorrow, taking into account their strengths and what's the key for you tactically in terms of how you approach the game? How do you see that?
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, Vicky. I mean, first of all, we won't give up all our secrets here today, but one of the things we definitely need to be aware of, they're so dynamic in attack, and they're a good team that looks to move the ball well. So, we have to be organized, we have to be compact, and limit the spaces between the lines for them to play and get at us. But and also when we do have an opportunity, obviously look to threaten them with our power and pace as well. So I'm pretty sure they're wary of that. I believe, Coach Sarah alluded to that as well, that, they know we'll pose a few problems to them if they don't do what they need to do. But I think it's really about us making sure that we're really good and we're organized. And when we are, we've got to be, better than we have been in the last couple of matches in both boxes, in our box and being critical in the opposition box. So yeah, we need to be organized tomorrow. And obviously, from there they'll see where we can take our opportunities, on the counter if need be as well.
And obviously, there's a lot of WSL interest in terms of Jamaican players. We know Khadija Shaw very well, the likes of Drew Spence and Becky Spencer, who've played in the league for such a long time. I understand that they're not available because of managing workloads and heading into the World Cup qualifiers. Just talk us through the thinking behind that and, how you have to balance those sort of demands as a manager.
Yeah, it's funny. We were discussing it again this morning at breakfast, and making sure that above everything else, the playing well-being and safety, and to make sure that they're in the right mind frame after such a long season. I mean, that's really what but we're focusing on. We want to make sure that they're right. Within 2 weeks, some of them are reporting right back to preseason again. And to make sure that we have these players in October, we have to listen to them first and foremost. And we've done a really good job in working with the clubs to work with them. I think obviously if this is qualifying match would be different. They'd all be in. But we really want to manage their workload. We really want to make sure in the right mental frame of mind that when they come in, that they're healthy mentally and physically to represent their country. So it is a challenge, but with challenge become other opportunities for other players now to come in and stake a claim. And that's been sort of the message of this week. It's like, let's continue to increase the pool, make it more competitive. We talk about wanting to be one of the top three teams in CONCACAF in our region. And you only do that by increasing the player pool and making competition for places each and every camp and making decisions for coaches very, very difficult. And that's all you can ask for. And I'm glad that we've been able to see some new players emerge in these last few games against some really tough opposition. And as I alluded to before, some of the things you don't necessarily see in games, a lot of the biggest learnings and feedback and intake we get has been in the week of training to see how players sort of react and carry out that match plan. So it is challenging, but like I said, we have to do the best for the players in mind that they have a very hectic season coming up, and we have a very hectic World Cup qualifying coming up in the fall as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Let's now go over to America now. Jason Walker. Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you very much, Simon. Good afternoon, everybody. Speaking about opportunities, like we just spoke about, considering, some of our more famous names won't be playing tomorrow, and considering how England plays, who should we be looking at in terms of counteracting England's style of play?
Well, I think
on the Jamaica squad.
Yeah, I mean, I won't tip my hat just yet because obviously we haven't been able to give out too much, as you can allude. I would love to. Trust me, I would love to be able to tell you some names right off the bat, but I think you'll have to kind of tune in like the rest of everybody else. But I would say it's really about some of those players being a little more consistent. A lot of the players that you've probably seen in the last few matches, it's about building on those performances. So and us building on those performances as a unit, as a group, not so much as individuals, but in terms of our units. Because defending, again, we kind of spoke about, we made against the US, I think 7 individual errors and 4 of them resulted in goals. And that's what happens when you're dealing against the top 5 teams in the world. The margins for error are so small. And so we can minimize those moments. And that's not to say for 89 minutes, some of those players have played really, really well for us. But we have to cut out those little individual mistakes at the inopportune times that lead to goals being conceded. And then when we are in possession, we have to be better in it. We have to retain the ball a bit more, and we have to be a little more threatening going forward. So, those are all the things that we've kind of worked on this week. As I said before, being better in both boxes and making sure that we minimize mistakes, as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. Members of the media, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and also to Coach Busby as well. This recording will be shared with the media quite shortly. To everybody, hope you have a pleasant rest of the day. And just a reminder once again that the match can be seen on JFF Live's YouTube channel. So thank you very much, everybody.